Hi, welcome to tariffs. What should I say now? So we are going to have 3 lessons for tariffs. The first lesson is basics for tariffs. Second lesson, we are going to try and apply those basics to even more tariff questions. And then lastly, we are going to be reverse engineering tariffs. Stay tuned for that one. That is the most important one, and by far, that is one of the most challenging questions in mathematical literacy paper 1. I am not lying to you. You will see when we get there. I have found that to be by far. So let's start by obviously clearing our calculator. And then I can get started. So these are basics. You see, these are fundamentals. This is must know. So when we are talking about must know, you must know these before you even start attempting any questions that have to do with tariffs. First of all, don't make this mistake. You must have watched, or you must first watch my value added tax video before watching this, because it also has VAT. So if you don't know how to calculate, then you might get stuck. Before answering any tariff question, before attempting any tariff questions, this is what you're supposed to check. Number 1, you're supposed to check whether the rates are in cents, this is important, or the rates are in rands. Are the rates in cents or the rates in rands? So if we were to use this example, you can see here that they are saying R per kiloliter. That means that these rates here, they are all in rands. VAT inclusive or VAT exclusive? Do they include VAT or they do not include VAT? That is also something that you are supposed to check. So if we were to make this example, so the first example is that we have already understood that they have rands for this particular example. And another one, VAT exclusive or VAT inclusive, all tariffs include VAT. So we already understand that they are VAT inclusive. This is important. You haven't started attempting or answering questions, but you need to make sure that you can see what is happening. It will make it easier for you. So we have done with number 2. Number 3, the periods. It's either they can be in years or they can be in description. These ones, they are in years. The periods, it's 2022 to 2023, 2023 to 2024. They can be in description, such as like commercial. These are commercial rates and these are residential rates. That's what I mean when I say they can mean description. Or these are tariffs when there was water shortages. These are tariffs when there was no water shortages. You need to understand that, because if you choose the wrong period, your answer will definitely be right. Just imagine doing all the steps right. Only it's like taxation. You have done everything correctly only to find out that you chose the wrong bracket. Don't make that mistake. You must look at the periods and you must identify which period exactly are they asking you to focus on. If there are no blocks, you have to add them. You can tell here that there are no blocks, and blocks or steps, these are the categories that you need. So here, there was supposed to be block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4, block 5. Why am I doing that? You will see. It will also make it easy for you to be able to answer your questions going forward. So let me shift it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 blocks. Solve intervals. Solve intervals. Now, these are the intervals 0 to 6, 7 to 15, 16 to 30, 31 to 45. Now, remember, there are a lot of tariff questions. Telephone, water, electricity. We obviously are not going to cover all of them, but if you understand the fundamental, the basics, you will be able to solve all of them. So, these are the intervals. These right here. All of these, they are in the intervals. Now, you solve intervals. This is important. This is important. Vertically, not horizontally. This is vertical. This is horizontal. I know you already knew that. Up facing straight upright, it's vertical. And then when it's like this, it's horizontal. You solve vertically, not horizontally. I do not care which tariffs you are solving. put it always in your brain that I have to solve the intervals vertically and not horizontally. I will show you why. And we are going to use this example here to see exactly why we're supposed to solve them vertically and not horizontally. You solve them horizontally, you are going to have a problem. Now, let's use this question here and see exactly if we can apply all what we have learned to try and solve this question. So determine the amount in rands. This is important. The amount that we are determining has to be in rands, including VAT. It also has to include VAT. You see, number 2, VAT inclusive or VAT exclusive, because now they are saying that the amount that we have to determine has to include VAT, and we already know that our rates already include VAT. That means that at the end we will not be burdened with adding VAT because it's already there. That means the gray will pay for 30 kiloliters of water usage in 2023 to 2024, period. So let's do this. Now, this is where we start putting our mouth where our money is, or our money where our mouth is. Anyways, there is mouth and money. I don't know, maybe it's because it rhymes or something like that. And let's continue. So 30 kiloliters, this is the usage. This is the water usage. We need to know for how much are they going to pay for having used 30 kiloliters. These are the periods we're talking about. Remember the periods we're talking about? And then this is 2022 to 2023. But the period here, it says it should be 2023 to 2024. There is someone who understands how to solve tariffs, and they ended up using this section because they didn't pay attention to the basics. Their answer will be wrong, not because the steps are wrong. No, the steps are correct. They are doing everything accordingly, but because they use the wrong amount or the wrong period. It's the same thing with taxation. Periods important. Where are we? We are here. We are here, 2023 to 2024. That's what the periods are saying. Now, before you begin, this is what you want to do. This 30 kiloliters that you are supposed to be calculating the amount that they have to pay for having used 30 kiloliters. You go to your blocks or you go to your intervals. Where does it fall? Well, it falls on block number 3 or interval number 3. Can you see 16 to 30 kiloliters? So it's here. So having known that it's here, that means that block number 3 is where my calculations have to end. Block number 3 is where my calculations have to end. It's important to determine where your usage is, or in which category or interval does your usage fall, because if you do not, then you have to do a trial and error, and it's not time for that. So here you just need to know. If, let's make an example, a quick one, they said that he was using 33 kiloliters. Where does 33 kiloliters fall? Where 33 kiloliters fall between 31 to 45. So that means that our calculations were going to end at step 4. But how were we going to do that? I will show you on the next lesson, because that is also important. So now let's continue. So let's take this out of the picture, and then so that we can continue. So now we know that they are going to end on block 3. So now I can confidently do this. Look at me doing this. Block 1. Look at me doing this. Block 2. Look at me doing this. Block 3. Confidently, so I know that's where my calculations are supposed to end. Now let's start with the calculations. How do we start? You solve the interval, you multiply by the rate, you get the answer. Solve the interval, multiply by the rate, get the answer. Let me put it here. Solve interval, multiply by the rate, get the answer. That's what you're supposed to do. So let's do it. Solve the interval. What's the interval? The interval is 0 to 6. What did I say? I said that we are supposed to solve our intervals vertical, not horizontal. The first one, because it's from 0 to 6, obviously you have to solve it horizontally. So it's the first one. You can't do it vertically. I will show you what vertically means. So 0 to 6, this is what you can do. You are supposed to say that 6 subtracting a 0. What is 6 subtracting a 0? 6, when you subtract a 0, you get a 6 kiloliters. Meaning that for block number 1, you are eligible to pay for 6 kiloliters. At how much? Remember, solve the interval. Yes, we have done that. We have solved the interval. What's the next step? We multiply by the rate. What's the rate? Is the rate 16.18? No. This is 2022 to 2023. Remember the importance of the period. The rate is 18.12. What's the answer? So 6 is already here. We can simply say multiply by 18.12. 18.12. What do we get? We get 108.72. We are done with the first block. Second block, this is where the vertical mode starts kicking in. This is where it's important. What do I mean when I say vertically? Now, pay attention. I'm not going to say 15 subtract 7 or 15 minus 7. If I say 15 minus 7, I mean a big problem because there will be one unit at the end that will not be accounted for. And I will show you what I'm saying. Instead of saying 15 minus 7, no, that is horizontally. I only do horizontally at the beginning because there is a 0. But immediately I start going to block 2, block 3, I use the vertical mode, which means that it's going to be 15 subtracting a 6. So I say that 15, you subtract a 6. Now let's come here. What's 15 when you subtract a 6? Well, you get 9 kiloliters. 9 kiloliters. Remember, solve the interval, multiply by the rate. What's the rate for block 2? Is it 26? No, it is 29. So we say 29.86. What do we get for that? So when you say 9 multiplied by 29.86. So it's 9 multiplied by 29.86. The answer, when we change it, it's 268.74. We are done with block number 2. Block number 3, what are we supposed to do? Block number 3, well, do we do it horizontally? No, we do it vertically. Horizontally was going to be 30 minus 16. That is wrong. We are supposed to say 30 minus 15. So we are supposed to say 30 going up, which is vertically, minus 15. What do we get? What is a 30 minus a 15? Calculator says it's 15 kiloliters that we are eligible to pay for on block number 3. What's the rate? Remember, solve the interval, multiply by the rate, get the answer. What's the rate? The rate is not 32. The rate is 36. 36.58. So let's just say multiply by 36.58. So we get a 548.17. We are done. Remember, we said we are confident that this is where we should end, and we are going to prove that indeed this is where we should end. Let's go and add all our intervals and see whether indeed they give us the 30 kiloliters that we are supposed to pay for. Where are our intervals? They are all here. So let me use a different one for adding our intervals. This is our interval number 1. This is interval number 2. This is interval number 3. You don't have to do this. You are only doing this for yourself to prove whether you have accounted for all that you are supposed to pay for, which is 30 kiloliters. So let's just come here and do this. Now, 6 was the first interval. 9 was the second interval. 15 was the last interval. Do they give us 30? We can be confident that we have paid for 30 kiloliters. Now, let's come here and get our answer for the amount that we are supposed to pay. So the first interval was 108.72. The second one was 268.74. And then the last one was 548.70. 548.70. And then the answer is 926.16. The question said that including VAT, because our rates, they already include VAT, there is nothing we are supposed to do here. But if they said our rates, they do not have VAT, and us, we have to do it including VAT. You already have watched my video. You know how we are supposed to add VAT here. So we're also going to we're also going to encounter such questions whereby we have to either include VAT or take out or subtract VAT. So this is about this. Let's prove what I was saying when I say you always do it vertically and not horizontally. So now we are going to have, and this will be quick, block 1, block 2, because we are simply trying to prove what you are not supposed to do. You are apparently supposed to be shown why you must not do what you are told not to do. So the first one, I said you obviously have to do it horizontally, so because it's 6 minus 0. What do you get? 6 minus 0? You get 6 kiloliters. Now, if you are doing it horizontally, so look what happens. It's 15 minus 7. What do you get when you say 15 minus 7? You get an 8 kiloliters. And now the third one was going to be 30 minus 16. 30 minus 16. What do you get? You get 14 kiloliters. And now let me show you. Maybe you're like, he's doing mental maths now. That's because he wants to prove something that is not there. It is 8. You see? 30 minus 16. This I'm showing you so that you don't do it. See? Now let's add them together. Because now that's the third step, right? We are supposed to be done there. So let's say 6 plus 8 plus 14. Now look at what we are getting. We are getting 28 kiloliters. Saying that we are not done. Apparently we are not done. Why did we lose the 2? We lose the 2 by doing it horizontally instead of vertically. So always do it vertically. And I know you're going to get intervals that allow you to do them horizontally. Still don't. Instill this in your mind. I do it vertically no matter what. You are going to get tariffs that are like this. 0 to 6. 6 to 15. 15 to 30. You see, they allow you to do it horizontal, but still don't. Do it vertically. You are trying to build a foundation upon which you will never fail. So that is just about that for tariffs. Keep up and keep on watching, because lesson number 2 is coming. And we are going to solve even more tariffs so that you can see. We are going to still try to apply the steps and see where these steps are going to get us. Because these steps, apparently, they need to make us successful. So let's put them to the test. So yeah, catch you in the next one. Thank you. Keep on.